Yo, 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 welcome to the King Me Podcast. I'm Q the Don.
I'm Chanel.
And I'm Mr. Hill to Phil.
Hey man, listen, we come to y'all with another episode. As you can see, the host B, he's out right now. So we're gonna keep it moving.
I'm trying to be like B when I grow up.
Man, yeah, B be on point, man.
Yeah, hey. Well, Brady Matt said good living.
Good living, man, I'm telling you. So we're gonna start it off how everybody week was. It's been a little minute since we recorded. So yeah, catch us up. What's going on with you?
First of all, happy Father's Day weekend to the fathers, father
Shout
figures,
out to the guys,
to the daddies, sugar daddies, side piece daddies, whatever kind of daddy
you always got to go left.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're a daddy figure,
forgive her.
father, whatever you want to be. And it's Juneteenth, of course. So for my Juneteenth, we're going to highlight my amazingly awesome son, Amaru Austin, and his performance last night with Tori Luna
Yes,
at Oasis.
Definitely.
Fire. They were fire. Y'all, well, I tell y'all about Maury playing his saxophone all the time.
Hold up, wait a minute. Let
All
me stop
the
you there.
time.
Wait a minute. Let me
What?
stop you there. Why we didn't get an invite?
You my Facebook friend.
I don't be on Facebook.
That ain't my fault.
Okay, I understand. Go ahead.
My granddaddy said if they want you there, they will tell you.
They would.
They will
Okay.
tell you how to be there.
Okay. You
I remember.
continue
Hold on. Let's back up.
Okay, let's go.
Because I pull up my phone and we have a group chat, and you and Brandon both said, "When is his next performance?" And I said at Lil Jazz's. And what did y'all say? Did you show up? All right. Because my granddaddy said that if you invite them and they don't show up, don't invite them no more.
Watch yourself.
Okay.
All right.
You might know something.
We're going to move along. We're going to move along.
Scurry along now.
That's right. But like I was saying, we had an awesome time. They both played for 843 Symphony, but they had another little family band situation going on, and I can't say enough. They did a doggone good job at Oasis last night. So if you wasn't there, you definitely missed a treat on top of a treat on top of a treat. They killed it.
Yeah, just rub it in.
Yeah.
Just rub it in.
Yeah.
But nah, shout out to them for that, man. That's what's up.
You said the week. She just took over with Armory talking about her son, man, because he is incredibly talented. But it's been just wonderful. I've been busy the past couple weeks, just coaching my son, his basketball team. We actually played today. Did come out with the win. But, man, I'm proud of how we handled adversity. I'm proud of how we handled adversity, and we got to understand that how we started is how we finish. So didn't pull it out, but we got a game Monday. Other than that, man, living and giving, bro. Living and giving. That's all I'm about.
Word, man. I seen on TikTok where you've been doing something for Men's Mental Health Month. Can you tell us about like what you had going on with that?
Man, as everybody knows, it's Juneteenth and Black Music Month, all these other things. But what is also is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So every day in the month of June, I've been saying quotes and affirmations. I got a stack of cards from a friend of mine, and those cards, that, like I say, is quotes and affirmations. So I'll read the quote and affirmation, and I'll, discuss how us as men can apply that to our daily lives, man. So, man, I appreciate everybody who like, comment, repost, all that good stuff, man. But like I always say, I appreciate the most those who grow with us, because that's what I'm about. Is about growth.
Word. So what age do you coach?
8U. 8U. So, man, they're a bunch of loose cannons. I'm gonna say they're loose cannons.
Gotcha.
But what I do enjoy about it is their ability, like I said, how they respond to things, and just introducing them to that competitive nature of what it means to compete. And like I told them, because we were down 8-0 at halftime, and I told them, I say, it matters how we respond. I don't mind losing, but how we lose, that's what matters the most.
Come on now.
So
Yes, sir.
after halftime, we went on a 12-2 run. So we were leading the game 12-10. Some things that I'm gonna take accountability for that we could have done better or responded better to. But hey, man, I'm like I told Q, man, it's really on to the next, because our next game is Monday. So I can't be too focused on what happened, but at the same time, be aware of how we can improve. So I've been riding in silence the whole time.
Definitely got to have that short-term memory, man.
Trying to think about it, but man, there's love either way. I love serving the community, giving back to my community, and sacrificing my time and energy, for the betterment of kids. Cause man, they kids, man. I do it for the kids, man. For
Right.
sure.
Okay, so I ain't really been having much going on. I really don't have much going on, so I ain't gonna spend too much time on that. But amongst things that we have to talk about today, you mentioned that you coach kids, that you deal with kids. Miss Chanel sent us an article, I think that was this morning, about young black males and the suicide rate, right?
Yes. In the ages of 20 and 24.
Do you got your phone?
Uh-huh.
Can you read the article for us, just so our viewers can know kind of like where we're heading? So while she's doing that, man, we definitely appreciate all our viewers for tuning in, for commenting, liking, subscribing. Keep doing what y'all doing, and we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, man. We having technical difficulties here, and because she didn't, I should have probably warned her beforehand, but I didn't. So
See, that's why she was saying what she was saying earlier.
Ooh.
right.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, it's from Atlantic Black Star. A troubling new report is shining a light on a mental health crisis that doesn't get enough attention. Young black men are now dying by suicide at a higher rate than their white peers. According to recent data, suicide deaths among black Americans have risen dramatically over the past decade, with black men ages 20 to 24 experiencing some of the highest rates. Mental health experts point to a combination of factors, including trauma, economic stress, social isolation, stigma around seeking help, and a lack of access to cultural competent care. At the same time, more black men are speaking openly about their mental health. This week, Lil Nas X shared, that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and sought treatment through rehab, a reminder that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. The conversation around black men's mental health is changing, but many say more support, resources, and understanding is still needed. Okay,
there's a lot to unpack there. For one, I'm actually glad you sent that article, because I actually had no idea that was actually occurring, like that the rates were, moving at that pace. Because typically, and I'm not trying to be racist when I say this, but when we hear suicide, we're not thinking about black people. Like
it
typically,
used to be that way. Yeah.
Right. So so just hearing that, and then the age of the suicide, that's even more alarming. So we could start either way. What's some things that you think like maybe is the cause of that? I mean, it's a lot of things, but what's some things that you could maybe pinpoint?
I know myself. I highlight that all the time, that I am a black mom, a single black mom of 4 sons. I remember when my brothers were young, my mom was a single mom for a while when her and my dad separated. And my mom made sure my brothers stayed active outdoors. They stayed involved in sports. They stayed involved in, extracurricular activities, and they stayed active with other men. And I did the same thing with raising my boys. A lot of teenagers in that age range of 20 and 24 growing up now that they're men, in that age range of 12 to 15, 12 to 18, they're in a situation of isolation, especially in single-parent homes where they're not being exposed to other people, other men, and other access. So I think a lot of times it's not a matter of not caring. You don't know because they in a room on the game. They in a room doing God knows what. You don't realize that your child is depressed because you've allowed them that window of isolation.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to you, but you spoke about something a few episodes back when you were saying like how we have stuff that's geared toward maybe like once they get older in that 12 to 15 range. I think this just serves as a purpose of what you said. We should start implementing stuff when they're younger.
Right.
Because like you said, a lot of times those are pivotal years and they don't have no structure for those pivotal years. So they kind of just, like you said, we in this time now where I go in my room and I spend most of my time in my room. And okay, when I get home from school is, how was your day? Oh, my day was good. no further questioning, like no further dialogue. Okay, they said their day was good, so I'm gonna go in my room and I'm gonna get on my phone, and I don't know what's going on with my child. So I think like that, for one, we got to get back to the point where we in these kids' business, like, because sometimes that being in kids' business could be a life-saving thing, like, because like you said, a lot of times you don't know what's going on in the world of these kids, and it's gotten so different now, like with technology, because I always think to myself, I'm like, are these kids going through way more than we were going through, or like what is it?
I do feel like they're going through way more in some aspects. Because I things that my boys have told me about that they've had to deal with, I never fathomed. I remember was one situation, I should say episode. This one situation, we were riding down the road, I'm right here from Florence. We were riding down Darlington Street, and a teenager, I can tell by his stature and his build that this was a young boy, around about my boy's age. I think my boys were maybe 15 and 16. My twins were 15. Amari was like 16 years old, and he got pulled over. And as I was approaching, I saw the police officer in front of me circle around, pull the boy over. And immediately as a mom, I'm like, oh God, I don't know why they pulled this baby over. But as I pulled up and kept going, another cop who was coming in front of us going that way, then he pulled over. So I see in my rearview mirror, and then he's pulling over. My heart racing like, black boy, they pulling him over, what about to happen? And I'm panicking. I got anxiety, and I got all 4 of my boys in the car. And I'm like, I'm about to circle around just to see what happens. And they're like, Mom, let's go home. Like, they ain't got nothing to do with you. It do got something to do with me. So I circle around. By the time I circle around, here come another cop.
Yeah,
now I'm
that's
crying.
overkill.
And I'm about to go crazy. And I'm like, I'm about to pull over, make sure nothing don't happen to his
Was
baby.
the guy being combative? Or he was just
I don't
chilling?
even know what he did. Honestly,
Okay.
I mean, he was driving in front of me. For all I know, he could have been going 37 in the speed zone or something like that, and that speed lane is 30.
Okay.
I didn't see anything he did wrong, but for all I know, the car could have been stolen. I don't know what happened, but my motherly instinct saw a teenage boy and his 3 cops pulling him over. There's nothing I can do for him, but the mom and me wanted to watch and make sure nothing happened. Well, I sat there for a little while, and, everything seemed to be going fine, but I'm hysterical. I'm crying. That automatically turned into a teaching moment. If the police pull y'all over and I'm cussing and I'm fussing, stay in the car, put your hands on the wheel, don't get your lights, don't do nothing. Matter of fact, we're going to get a new visor. We're going to make sure we keep it right here, so you reach for it, he tell you. And I'm literally laying into them boys. They didn't do anything wrong. My boys didn't do anything wrong. But I felt compelled to teach them in that moment because it could have went left. Right, because there is no reason why it take 3 cops to pull over one little boy. But that's the world my children had to grow up in, not me.
Okay, I got you. Mr. Hilterfield, I know we loaded it down, man. What you got to say about it?
But what I'll say is, just to piggyback, is quite important for us to be in our child's business. Like, it really is. And it's good to ask questions about, how was school good, but what I saw a video and it's asking, how were you a friend? How could you have done something different? So you got to ask probing questions. Right. A lot of times we don't take the time to ask those questions. Like you said, before you know it, those kids in their room, isolated from the world, and that's where the social anxiety comes from. Even like you can see it in regards to customer service in restaurants or in stores. I went to order my food last night, me and my son. I went straight to the register. She looking at me, I'm looking at her. I was like, do you want me to, are you going to ask me what would I like to eat?
Right.
Or are we just going to be at a standoff? She's like, I'm supposed, I say, yeah, that's how you do it. So we have to raise and train, I ain't going to say raise, but train our kids on, number one, having a high self-esteem. I think that's what is lacking. High self-esteem. That's one of the things I talked about in regards to the men's mental health awareness. And when you don't have high self-esteem, that's when those things come in, the depression, the anxiety, the social decline, and you're not wanting to be around people. So it's important to think highly of yourself, and not for what you bring or what you can do, but you just being you.
Right.
And once you become authentically yourself, man, it's going to be so much easier to navigate the world and to navigate the people around you, and to know who to deal with and know who not to deal with, and standing on your square. And we as men, we have to be in these young men's lives. I work with young men. I'm one of the oldest men at my job, and it's crazy to me now that I'm one of the oldest ones at my job. So I deal with that age range of 20 to 24, and every time I work with them, I always let them know, man, you're doing way better than you think. You're doing way better than. Don't be so consumed by social media and the pressures of what somebody else says you should be doing or who you should be. I said, the simple fact that you get up every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and come to work, you got your own car. You may or may not have your own house, but you got your own car and you're doing for yourself. I said, you're doing much better than some of the men that we see standing outside these stores asking for $1.
Right.
So it's important that I tell these young men, like, hey, man, you're doing good. Don't think that you're doing anything wrong or you're doing bad because you're not where you want to be. I said, you're only 20. You're only 20 to 24. I said, man, you're going to live multiple lives. So how you respond here, you can either get stuck right here where you are in your mind, or you can allow this to grow you until you're 34, 35, 40 years old. Because I've worked with men that when I was in my 20s, I worked with men who were in their 40s and 50s, and they were still stuck
Right.
in that place. And I'm like, that's when I had my aha moment. I'm like, these men think like how I should be thinking. So that led me to, pour more into the young men when I became of older age, and seeing those guys, have struggles or think that nobody's there to listen to them, or thinking that they're only valued or worth something if they're able to provide or to be giving of their energy and time. So that's what I believe is most important when it comes to the suicide rate, and knowing that these young men are loved. I think that's a big thing too.
Yes.
I was on a Zoom meeting, and I was on a Zoom meeting last night, and an older guy said his dad told him, he said, man, I would be so much far along if somebody just believed in me. He said, man, and I think that's a lot of things that older men struggle with. I know we're talking about young men, but older men, they struggle with those things, being vulnerable and getting people to actually believe in them, and thinking it's their fault that they are where
That's
they
very
are.
true.
But I always tell men, young, it's not your fault. We're all coming from a place, or we've grown from a place to where they had trauma that was unaddressed from another generation that was brought forward to us. So that's why things feel a whole lot heavier. And it's okay to detach yourself and let go. My therapist told me one time, a lot of times we wear coats that don't even belong to us. So that's why we feel so heavy.
Man, hold up, bro. You just said something so golden, man. We were talking about this in church. My pastor sent us a video to the male group chat. And the guy was talking about, if I'm not mistaken, he was talking about Josiah. And he was saying how Josiah's grandfather was a mass murderer, was this and was that. So when his grandfather had his dad was the same way, but worse. Like in the Bible said he was worse. So Josiah found the Bible and he started reading the Bible, and he made a conscious decision like, yo, I'm not about to follow. Yeah, it stops here. Like, I'm not about to follow those footsteps.
Yeah.
So he traced his lineage back to David, if I'm not mistaken, and found somebody that he could model his life after. So you saying that, like, man, I think a lot of times we get caught up in this culture thing of, and your environment is a huge thing. Your environment is a huge thing in the man that you are. But sometimes we have to give ourselves grace and understand, like, man, I didn't get it right because I never seen it done right.
It's not funny, but that's absolutely right. And to add on to that, we sometimes identify with our mistakes.
Break that down for us.
when I say identify with our mistakes, I mean we all make mistakes. But the more we identify ourselves to what we've done, man, we start to have qualities that present itself through the mistakes we made. So okay, maybe I lied. Okay, man. Now everybody done lied. I don't know anybody who told the truth 100% of the time.
Exactly.
But once you identify as a liar or identify yourself as a liar, man, you're gonna keep lying more. And that's what I say about kids too. I don't believe kids are bad. But if a child hears enough times, oh, he bad, she bad.
You act just like your daddy. You just like this.
It's gonna manifest itself. Your inner conflict, your inner worth is gonna manifest outwardly. So if somebody always telling you bad or you terrible or things like that, you going, man, it must be true.
It was something else you said. We talked about this and we were coming up with topics. You were saying that when you was in your 20s and you were listening to people in their 40s and their 50s, and you felt like, they should be thinking along the same lines, but they weren't. We were talking about having an institutionalized mindset. You've never been to prison. You would think that those people who think that way, they were in some type of confinement to think so small. That where do people get that from? And a lot of our kids, when you have a person who thinks small and you expect for that person to pour into your child, can you imagine having a parent with a small mind? And you expect for their child to grow past that. That's what we were talking about before. When you see children who are so-called troubled, getting involved with those children, we have counselors in school that don't counsel kids unless they have an IEP. Why you can't? You got 30 days in a month. You got 5 days out of the week, so I'll give them 20 days out of the month. Why you can't choose at least one child every day? You got more than that. You choose 5 kids a day. At least have a counseling session once a month with every child until you reach every child in the school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To talk to them because you're educated enough to pour into a child, because what if they got a parent at home who has an institutionalized mindset?
Don't care
They can't
about
pour no different into their child than what they got. Their capacity ain't big enough.
I learned that in I was working at alternative school, and I realized that I only have these kids for a certain amount of days and a certain amount of hours. After those days and hours, man, it's no telling what they're going to be facing. So you're absolutely right. You have to be able to pour into these kids, but it's also what these kids take with them, because I have just as many kids that, still by the wayside are not doing the exact right thing. I have kids too that come up to me and say, hey man, D's, man, I appreciate you for staying on me the way that you did, man. And man, I got a job, I'm doing this. Man, I just had a kid, I saw him Friday, man, he just graduated from JCSU in sports medicine. This is a kid from the wrong side of the tracks. So you're right. You don't have to become the environment that you're around.
Right.
So it's just an everyday thing. You can't pick and choose those kids who you pour into. You have to give the same amount of grace, love, kindness, care to every kid, because I always say kids never asked to be here.
A lot of times the kids that rebel are the ones that are crying out for help.
That's
who
the main
actually
thing.
Crying out for somebody to say, hey, see me, I'm acting out because I'm hoping somebody will recognize that I'm hurting.
Their emotions are imbalanced.
Yeah.
They're emotionally imbalanced.
It's crazy. It's like Young Boy, he gets flack for everything. And on one of his songs, man, I said this before, he said at the end of the song, he said, I just want to be loved. You will be surprised at how many kids don't actually feel love. And the Bible and the Bible says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. So you don't know what a kind word, what a loving word can do for a child. You don't know what it could do for an adult. So never be too busy, never be too into yourself or what you got going on. And a lot of times, people that can speak life into these kids, they don't give the kid enough time, because in their mind, the kid is already a lost cause. But if everybody take that mindset that this child is a lost cause, then who's going to speak to him? So we got to do a better job of, like y'all said, and I stay on myself about this, pouring into kids, because everybody can't just complain about them being a problem and nobody
Right.
offering a solution.
Nobody's talking to them.
Listen, I know we were talking about, young men, but just sharing a story with you that I did with my father. My daddy, I'm going to get beat up after this, but it's okay. He's so extra. And I understand it now because my dad's retired. My grandmother used to do this to my dad, and I used to think it was funny. It ain't funny no more because he do it to me. She would always call his phone and leave messages and say her name and be like, I'm still alive. I get it. She ain't had nothing else to do but to aggravate her son. Now my dad's retired, and he leaves voicemails and call my phone to let me know he's still alive because I don't go visit him. Be busy. So I decided one day I created one of those forever songs, where they make generate the song and everything. I made a song, drove all the way to Hartsville, played the song for it, and I brought my dad some flowers. And I played the song for him. By then, of course, I'm a bucket of water. I'm teary-eyed, and I gave him the flowers, and my dad cried. He said nobody never gave him flowers before.
Wow.
And
that's touching.
It broke me. Nobody never gave my daddy flowers before. And he said he needed that. But even in the song, I was like, listen, sometimes I don't show up because sometimes I ain't there to show up for myself. So I don't want to come to you broken. I want to come to you whole. I want to come to you when I got it together. And sometimes it ain't pretty over here. So I'd rather give you my best. And I said all that in that song. And I watch him fight through tears and bite his lip and shake his leg. Like, this girl about to break me.
Yeah.
But after that song went over and I gave him the flowers, he lost it. Like,
Man,
so
that's
he
beautiful.
said, baby girl, I'm going to put this in some water.
Man, you see
that's
this,
real, though.
Yes,
the
but
small
saying
act like that.
Yeah, saying that to say that small tokens, when we pour into people that haven't received little things, the magnitude that it brings.
Man, just a simple thank you even.
Right.
That's coming from a real place. And like I always, for myself, I don't ask for stuff. I'm not a person that's real materialistic. But if I do something for you, if I'm able to give you something, man, you saying thank you, man, that means the world to
Right.
me. And that'll give me more of an incentive to, keep doing.
Right.
And stuff like that. So, man, that's beautiful that you did that.
It is.
We don't get our flowers enough. And especially as older men, we have this, they have this bravado about them, about being tough and not showing emotion and things like that. And even with my grandfather, he'll be 85. Next Thursday, our birthdays are a day apart. And, he lost his wife. And, like, me and him have become closer since then. And he shared parts of himself that he even told me, say, man, TJ, I don't even talk to nobody the way that I talk to you. So that lets me know that it's tough for older men to, you see how he was fighting them tears and trying to do everything but cry. So allowing him to have that space to be vulnerable, that's what's needed. Not only just older men, but just men in general, I believe.
And like you said, and I want to kind of like when I get a chance to, and anytime I get a chance to, like I got a cousin who was on the phone the other day. When I got off the phone, I said, I love you, man. He was like, all right, cuz. I said, nah, bro.
Nah, yeah.
I said, I love you. He was like, I love you too, cuz. So
Really? And
yeah. So
men
yesterday,
struggle with that.
Hey,
we do.
Listen, going back to my dad, like, I think I shared that with you before. I lost my brother this past September. Up until I lost my brother, I'd be like, I love you, Dad. Love you too. Huh? I love you too.
Like it's almost like you shamed to say it.
Though?
But
what you think that is though? Because I don't struggle with that.
Yeah, I think for older people, it was a lack of hearing it themselves that it feels uncomfortable. With my dad, not to tell his personal business, but I don't think he received that from his father.
I got you.
So I think it's uncomfortable for him to give something he hasn't received.
That's a fact.
So that's all I can see is.
Yeah,
but
I
now,
can understand that.
And also
that loss of my brother, I think he now sees the importance of actually saying that.
And also, we've been kind of conditioned not to show emotion in no form except for anger. Like if you think about a young male, if he cries, if he acting mushy, for the most part, they're told, "Hey, chill out with all that." But if they get mad and they about to go off, we got people high fiving them. So you just kind of learn like I ain't gonna be on that. So when I told my cousin, so yesterday I was with him, and when I got out of the car, I was about to go in my house. He was like, "I love you, cuz." I kind of looked at him. I was like, "I love you too, bro." Like, I ain't prompting him or nothing. Yeah.
And see, that's something that I can't speak for every woman, but I think that was our job as mothers to teach emotional health. With my boys, something that I did, I remember, especially with my eldest son, whenever he went through stuff, I would tell him all the time, you can sit in it for a little while, and then we're going to get back up.
Hold, stop right there. You just said something so golden. We live in this culture now that makes people feel bad about feeling bad. When the real truth of the matter is, you're gonna have the human experience. I don't care how much money you got, how much God you got, you're gonna have the human experience. So you even saying that, there are so many people that don't feel like, they feel like if they feel bad that they're doing something wrong for feeling away. Now, I love the second part of that, but we're not gonna stay in there.
Yeah.
You can feel that, but we're not gonna stay there. That's gold right there.
Yeah. I'm gonna share this one experience, and I'm gonna let somebody else have the floor. He like I said, he just graduated from EMT school. We sang on the choir and stuff, and we were at church. And of course, he's my child. I saw the emotion on him, and I'm one of those parents that, like they say, wherever your child act up at, you chastise him right in and there. Wherever his emotion hit him at, we gonna get through it right here. And he's playing the saxophone and doing his thing, and they were singing. I don't care. I'm a praying mama. I was like, Mario, what's wrong? And I'm mouthing, what's wrong? And he just kept shaking his head or whatever. And I went over there, and I sat down on the pulpit beside him. I said, let's pray. And I prayed with him, and he hollered and screamed and cried. And I forced him to let it out. Like, you got to let it out. Because that's what causes suicide, when you as a man are forced to hold it in and fight through it by yourself. I saw him suffering, and he never told me what was wrong, but you needed to let it out.
Right, you just giving them that avenue.
Have been taught that's embarrassing to cry, and it's a weakness to cry. I made sure my boys understood, F them people.
Nah, that's real. That's real though.
For real
We
though.
That's
about
real.
to let this out.
Yeah.
It's been
That's
plenty
real.
of times that I've been like, if we got to cry together, we gonna get in the mud together. Let's cry together. If you want to fight somebody, fight me. We going through this together. But when you get done, we getting up.
Exactly. I love that, because like you said, we always talk, don't have those emotions. And man, sometimes, this gonna sound real crazy, but if you get you a good cry in, man,
Boy, I feel good.
the tears are like weights. And once they start the flowing, you feel stuff dropping off of you, because your body, your soul, your body, your mind, your heart, all that stuff is meant to experience the human experience. And I keep on saying that because I want everybody to understand, like, there's nobody above this. Whether they tell you about it or not, everybody cries them tears. Everybody feels these ways. It's just, we got to destigmatize feeling. We got to destigmatize that. Like, that nonchalant, I don't care, nothing don't get to me. That ain't cool. That's not
that ain't
normal.
the truth either.
That's not right, bro. That's not true. Like, it's okay. You ain't got to be getting now. You ain't got to. I'm going sideways here. You ain't got to get on Facebook and tell everything that's going to. I understand sometimes that's a cry for help, but I just be kind of confused that when people start
That's a
crying.
cry for-
I get confused when they set their camera.
Like
when they set their camera.
yeah,
up
like
and
you
start-
really set your
you
camera up
press
and just
record.
like, dang, did them tears look good? Hold on, let me
start over.
that's sidebar. But man, just finding you a group of people, a person, somebody that you feel comfortable with, and like you were saying earlier, man, with what you do. Sometimes God calls certain people, like how you say you got your granddaddy to open up. Sometimes God has a calling on certain people's life that, for some strange reason, you will tell me something that you won't tell nobody else.
Right.
I ain't lying.
And when you got that calling on your life, man, it's such a heavy thing, because nobody is gonna check on you. Like, nobody's gonna make sure you're straight.
Good. That's good right there,
Right.
bro.
You gonna stay to be pouring out, but ain't nobody gonna pour back into you. But man, and then sometimes you get discouraged when you dealing with people and you like, yo, my watering is falling on concrete. Man, listen. I was listening to a message the other day, and Bishop Younger said, when the mail people drop off your mail, it ain't their job to make you receive the mail. All their job is to deliver the mail. When God has a call on your life, and you a person that has to minister to people, that have to pour into people, you don't have a choice. You don't have a say of, I'm not doing this anymore. You don't have a choice to say, this ain't what I want to do no more. Like, because that man, listen, it's been plenty of times where I'm like, I ain't doing it no more. Bro, that's what you was put on earth for. Like, and if you ain't doing that, you ain't serving no purpose. And I'm gonna get real serious here. If you ain't serving your purpose, God could take you, because if you're not doing what I put you on earth to do, then what are you here for?
Or he'll give it to somebody else.
Exactly.
And right in front of your face.
Exactly.
And allow them to operate and elevate themselves. He allows them to be elevated right where you should be.
Right.
I don't even know how we got on
you,
that, but that's
But I mean, you're absolutely right though. Because
I've been raised on that concept. You don't use the gifts God gave you, He'll take it away from you. I appreciated my son.
my grandma
so
used to say,
much.
for real.
and
If you
that's
don't
real.
use it, He'll take it away.
And that's real. To me, that's real.
You'll try and
Between
pick it
that
up
and Your
again.
blessings ain't meant for you. He bless you to bless others.
Even your scars that you wear, your scars is just to be proof of what God can do in somebody's life. That's why when you make it through something, you're supposed to share your testimony because we're strengthened through the testimonies of each other.
We come over through the testimony of the saints.
Exactly.
We make it over.
When you going through something, man, and it don't feel good during that time, I don't know who we talking to, but somebody need this. It don't feel good at that time, but it's only going to be a test for your testimony. Right. That way you can tell somebody else one day when you got to tell them, because everybody's going to have to minister and have to witness to somebody at some point in time. Your scars are the show the proof of what God can do.
Yes.
Man, like my therapist said that, man. That's why I'm like, man, yo.
Man, and it's crazy because I was reading about the blind man, and they asked, I told y'all this story a minute ago. They asked Jesus, the disciples said, the guy was blind since birth. They said, did he sin or did his mom and them sin? Jesus said, neither one of them sinned. This was only done so God's glory could be shown. Yeah. So sometimes, bro, when you going through it, it ain't for you. And as bad as you feel about it, it ain't for you.
Most times it ain't. Most times
exactly.
Which brings back full circle when people wonder, like, I mean, we're talking about suicide. People get caught up into why my life is so bad. Why am I going through this? Like, children get molested, and you know what I'm saying? You like, what did they do to deserve this? Again, sometimes we go through a struggle or we go through something because the testimony is greater than your struggle. What you're going through is going to be something that's going to fuel you for what He got for you. You know what I'm saying? And it seems so harsh.
Have service today.
It seems so harsh because, I mean, just in that alone, like, I hate that I did this to a certain degree, but now I'm seeing why I did it. I lost my mom at 17, and my boys are grown now, and I hated that I raised them to lose me, so to speak. Because I lost my mom so young, I prepared them to lose me young. So as I was raising them,
elaborate that. Yeah.
As I was raising them, I made sure they were so tightly knit that if something happened to me, they were going to be on each other. My brothers weren't necessarily around when I lost my mom. So it was just me. They were alive physically, but they weren't around. Without telling all my business, they weren't around. So it was just me. So I didn't want my boys to feel what I felt losing my mom and feeling like it was just me out there. So every day of their life, they knew my mom didn't have a mom. So they literally had to live every waking moment that we may wake up one morning and my mama wasn't here because I lost my mom so suddenly.
Do you think that created a weight for them?
A weight?
Like, you know,
to a certain degree. It did. And after they got a little older, they started letting me know, like,
or a fear,
you overreacted. Yeah. In some ways, they let me know you overreacted in some ways because you were always afraid that you gonna die in your sleep. You was always afraid, you know what I'm saying?
That's our cycles, you know,
but
generate and regenerate.
The thing is, the one thing that I did to counteract that, I started explaining to them, this is why I did that. This is where I was wrong.
That's beautiful.
And I can't take away everything that they had to go through, but now they have an understanding.
You gave the clarity of it.
Yeah.
I don't need to know the details, but I actually like that thought process. Not saying like you know everything about it, but I like the thought process for this right here. Sometimes I think with the suicide rate and with the younger people, we're very ill prepared for real life. And sometimes real life hit us to the point where it's like we can't react. We don't know how to react because we've never been prepared for it. Because like when you're in school, nobody prepares you for real life. Like they tell you like, oh, you'll want to be a kid again one day, but nobody tells you about bills. Nobody tells you about working and feeling like you're not getting to where you want to get to. Nobody tells you about those midlife crises at 20-something years old. Nobody tells you that.
And see, that's the difference. I'm gonna tell you just a little tad bit. My oldest son, we call him Mari. His real name Amaru though. Mari was paying bills at 10 years old. Like I physically could go into the gas station and pay bills, but I had him doing it. The address to where we paid bills, the street number, the 4-digit number, was the PIN code to my debit card. He remembered the address. I did things sequentially, like they were strategic. So he'll never forget the debit number to my debit card because he remembered the same gas station number. He knew where to go to pay the bills. He remembered the number because of this. He was grocery shopping at 11 years old. He was cooking meals at 11 to 10 years old. I had to have a surgery where they had to cut out both my armpits. I couldn't do nothing for myself. I ended up not having a home health nurse. And when I went to the doctor for my 6-week checkup, they was like, oh, well, how's your home health nurse going? I didn't have one. Well, your stitches look beautiful. Who's taking care of you? My 11-year-old son. That's why he just graduated EMT school. You know what I'm saying? Man. I prepared him for a lot of things at a young age because I realized at a young age that I had a skin disease that could take me out. It reminded me of how soon my mom left here. So it was a lot of things that I was putting in place that this boy was like, man, I ain't never going to be able to play sports. Yes, you are. Pick what you want to do. I'm going to make sure you still going to be a child. You still going to be able to do what you want to do, but I got to add this on to the list too.
Right. Yeah. So, even that though, that's because these kids growing up now and not to knock them because they can't raise themselves. These kids are growing up now with a sense of, not all of them, I'm not putting everybody in, but a lot of kids they're so, the parents are doing so much for them, they're not understanding the weight of responsibility.
Yes.
And if you don't understand the weight of responsibility coming out into the real world, man, you'll be out here like crashing out.
It's gonna bury you.
It is, bro, because it's tough. Like nobody tells you about the decisions that you have to make. You hear your mom and them say certain stuff, but they don't
experience it.
We don't experience of having to think like, okay, I got $400 left after I pay bills. I got to make this $400 stretch for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We not taught about that. We not taught okay, so what are you spending your money on that make you only have, like, it's a lot of stuff that we're not taught. So we're ill prepared. So when life hits you, you have these teenagers, you have these young people like, and then social media not making it no better because in social media, it's telling you this other 20-year-old
they got the money to their ear.
Yeah, he got the most money. He got Ferraris, and you 20 years old, and you thinking like, bro, I'm not even at my mama's house yet.
And then we don't realize, man, everybody just on borrowed time.
Exactly.
Right.
Everybody on borrowed time. Right. So how much does those things really matter?
Right.
Because even Robin Williams. Robin Williams had everything that you can think of. Successful actor. He was one that, decided to commit suicide.
Right.
Because he's been living unfulfilled this whole time. So it's good to allow kids to be kids and to give them the experience of being a child. And responsibility is good to have and to know what responsibility is, but I don't want to drown my child so much into responsibility that he doesn't get to see who he is.
Right.
I like that.
That's my
break that down for us, man. I like that.
Perfect example. My son, I'm always asked for my son to be a part of sports teams and things like that. He's an athletic kid and all that. So I spoke with a good friend of mine, and I was talking to him about getting a trainer. He was like, "Hey man, I don't suggest you getting him a trainer until 6th grade. My son's going to 3rd grade." He said because if you have him doing that too early, he said by the time he gets to high school, he's not gonna want to pay no more.
Yeah, he gonna feel out of love with it.
And I'm like, man. So to me, I never felt like I was doing the wrong thing, but it was something that I always questioned. Like, man, do I want him doing this? I know he can handle it, but is it the thing do I want this weight of responsibility on him to make it to practices or make it to the trainings and to focus so much on the training that he doesn't get to be a child and just have fun.
Where it becomes like a job.
It's a job. You don't want it to become a job.
Yeah.
He said, the best thing for you to do is, man, allow him to, continue to play for the city, teach him or be strategic and the ways of teaching that he doesn't even know he's catching on to things. Instead of making it like a drill or a job, man, just formulate different
I think that's
methods.
what a lot of people lose focus in trying to perfect the craft more so a job for them. It's almost like when you see these children stars or whatever. They're trying so much to perfect them that these kids don't have fun no more.
Michael Jackson.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like with
perfect
the
example.
with the
He
basketball
committed
thing.
suicide without the death. He
You know
was
what I
killing
mean?
himself. He was killing himself.
It's
That's a fact.
like you said, man, like y'all said, like I look at some of these kids that's ranked number 1 in 3rd grade. Like, come on, bro. You number 1 in the nation in 3rd grade. Like, bro, like let this child be a child.
Go play with some Legos.
Like for real. Like, and so when we say the responsibility part, my thing for the responsibility part is like she said, I love the strategic thing in what you did with your kids.
Yeah, that
because
is. I like that.
I feel like sometimes these kids are so lax, like they don't understand the value of a dollar. They don't understand, like, and then like you said too, bro, I like when you said letting them explore and figure out who they are. Because social media is telling y'all who y'all should be. And if you're not, it goes back to what you said earlier, the self-esteem and the confidence. If you're not careful, you'll be trying to be somebody that God never intended for you to be. And when it's not working out, then
you blaming people.
You blaming people. Then you got the suicide watch because that's not who you were supposed to be. That's not who you meant to be. So man, y'all,
that's facts, man.
Y'all been. I could have scrapped this. We were rolling. So with Father's Day, I do want to say this. With Father's Day, for some Father's Day is like a good thing. Some they don't feel. Some is joy. Some is pain. What's one thing that your dad instilled in you? Everybody. If you had one piece of advice, one story, one lesson that you just that resonates with you even to this day.
My dad, his saying has always been, your car is your livelihood. Take care of your vehicle. Take care of your vehicle. Take care of your vehicle. Because Lord knows I done blew more motors than.
What you want to get your oil change?
I ain't never listened to that because I felt like that wasn't for me to do. But yeah, he has drilled that into me because he got tired of buying me cars. But I had to understand it was bigger than that. That when you invest in something and you take care of it, it'll take care of you. Is what he was trying to instill in me. But he used my car to
As
try.
an example.
Yeah, take care of it. It'll take care of you. It was about the car to teach me a lesson that whatever you invest in will take care of you, take care of your investment.
Okay.
So yeah.
I like that. This is just the men in my life, period. Just the value of hard work. And being able, understanding the blessing that it is to be able to even work. You know, I always remember when I first started, right? Ever since I could work, you know, at least on somebody's clock, you know, work. Maybe maybe I'll just quit the job. Or I ain't got fired so many times, I don't think. But I would quit a job. Man, it wouldn't be, as soon as I told him that, so what you about to do? Because you ain't about to be sitting up in the house.
Right.
So just the value of hard work and taking pride in the things that you do. Being 100% giving of yourself to what it is that you're doing and holding yourself to a standard. That's what I tell the guys at my job. I don't do the job that I do to make the job look good. I say I have these standards for myself, and it doesn't end with the work that I do. It doesn't end there. I carry those things throughout my life.
Right.
Because like I always tell my son, I said, whether you believe it or not, you're always going to be, if you're a man, you're going to be watched. You're going to be watched for the things you do. You're going to be watched for how you treat people. And that's just overall, but men get under a specific microscope and how you show yourself under the microscope. You don't want anybody to see you lacking or having gaps in what you're saying and what you're doing. So being somebody of hard work, being a man of character, being a man of your word, it's only a couple of things that a man has. I ain't gonna say the first thing because a woman here, but is that in his word.
Right.
His manhood and his word, I'll say that.
Okay,
Those
gotcha.
are the two things that men have and are responsible for, his manhood and his word. Everything else is going to come and go. But if you keep yourself in order and you do what you say you're going to do, man, everybody's going to look at you and speak up for you, so much so that you won't have to speak up for yourself.
Man, that's gold. Man, you said something. You said when you go to the job, you're not doing this to make the job look good. You're doing this to make yourself look good. I really like that because, man, I think a lot of times if we're displeased with the place that we're at, our servitude goes down.
Exactly.
Our character goes down.
And it goes right
And
down the toilet.
it's like David when he had to serve under Saul and he knew he was going to be the king eventually. Sometimes you still have to have a good posture even when you ain't in position yet. So that's just that on that. So also
Hey, that's
okay.
a word. That's a word, bro.
Yeah, that when you say that, bro, that just like that took me there.
That
Man,
can be hard sometimes.
It-
For
it
real
is.
though.
It's very hard.
That can be hard.
My
It's
son
very
said you
hard.
got to be a good person. He say, and that's hard to do.
It is, man.
Like, I thought about it. I'm like, dang, bro.
I was just telling Marty that the other day because he plays with a lot of different bands and stuff like that. He plays for the church and stuff. And of course, in my mind, ain't nobody better than Mari. But in order for you to be in a position of leadership, you first got to learn how to follow. And sometimes when you're following, you see errors in the leader that you like, but it's
I wouldn't
hard
do
to
it
stay
like that,
humble
yeah.
sometimes.
It is.
And sit there and know like this could go so much better if they did it this way. But it's hard to be humble and just sit back and wait
It
your
is.
turn. It's hard.
Man, I always think about it from the you got to carry the crown before you can wear it. But
Yeah.
man, like you said, those sayings are all great, but it ain't easy to do.
Don't armor bearers start off, as like most times preachers start off as armor bearers. So I know a lot of
Yep.
people within the ministry, they start off as armor bearers before they're actually in front of the people.
Because if you honestly speaking,
If you can learn to serve him,
There you go.
right, if you can't serve, how can you lead? Because you for one, you
That's the
can't.
number one thing for
you
a
can't
leader.
exactly. You can't feel the people. You can't certain things. God has to put you in the lower position so you can learn certain things.
I'm gonna tell you something else. Telling my age, when I was a child, I'm talking about 3 and 4 years old. I remember whenever we used to take communion, the pastor used to have wash basins, and he used to go and wash everybody's feet.
What you know about? I ain't gonna say what you know about that, but let me
But
tell you
Don't
something.
do that no
I
more.
understood that at a young age because even though he was our pastor,
Lowly.
he had to be in position of service
Lowly.
as well. And he washed everybody's feet.
I remember doing that growing up.
Listen,
Crazy.
Taking communion, going in that back room. Everybody, imagine you
and they be
6
singing
years
them old
old
hymns, and you out
and
there,
you watching a man foot, and
you
you
had to
sing-
wash your feet.
Man, you
Yes.
took it back with that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
see, but that's
Because
the
in order for you to be able to lead, you got to know how to
Yeah,
follow.
and
You
and that's the
gotta be
way
able
it
to humble
should be.
yourself.
Because when Jesus was on earth,
He washed the feet.
he washed the feet.
Man, he
Come on
washed
now.
Judas' feet, man. He knew he was gonna betray him.
Knowing, boy,
it.
you got
Whatever
this,
you're gonna do it quick.
boy. Sometimes you got to serve with the enemy present, boy. Is
Ain't
that not crazy? That's
And know it's your enemy, and
Know
know he
it.
about to do something.
no, bro. That's boy. We could have
Yeah.
service in
Let
here
me be
today,
quiet,
boy.
boy. Let me
That's
be
crazy.
quiet.
Look, he over there rubbing his knees.
Boy,
and they
that's
got
crazy.
teeth.
That's crazy.
And they got teeth.
For real,
Yeah.
though, that thing, you got to understand the depth, the gravity of that. You know
Yeah,
somebody
man.
about to do you dirt, and like I told him at the Zoom meeting, I say, man, people say they want to be like Jesus. I said, if you
Boy.
can't sit here and do something like that,
Then we talked about it on another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you know
Real.
what? Repentance is something, but sometimes, Lord, I don't be wanting to do that. No,
I'm-
I want to be my dirty self today.
yeah,
I'm
I want
telling
to be in
you.
my
tomorrow,
flesh. I want to
but
be in my
sometimes-
flesh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
be playing
Exactly.
with him. I'm
For
not about to lie to
real.
you today. When he be sitting right there and be like, Chanel, listen, Lord.
Like I ain't want to turn the other cheek today.
I ain't turning.
I ain't want to
I'm
choose
gonna
peace
close
today.
my eyes and act like you ain't here. I'm gonna close my eyes. I'll see you tomorrow. Please wake me up in the morning.
That's real though. That's real.
Please wake me up.
And you got a lot of people that
'Cause
be out
I'm
here
not
faking.
gonna do right today.
You got a lot of people that be out here faking like this is what I want to do all the time, bro. Ain't nobody want
That prayer be so sincere.
Boy,
Yeah.
you don't want to be like Christ every day.
No,
Because
definitely don't.
man, oh my God, what that requires.
Them two prayers I'm not gonna pray.
That's
you
why.
gonna-
For me to be
gonna
more
follow.
like Jesus and for patience,
Man.
I am not praying for them.
That's why I always tell people like you got to be careful of what you look at other people and say that you want for your life.
Exactly.
Because there's a
Even
price
the Bible
for
says, you know not what you pray for. You better know the magnitude of what you asking
there's
for.
a price for everything that you pay for.
Hey, look, that's why I tell people too, like, man, I want your hand. I said, hey,
If you know what I went through,
there you go.
I'm telling you.
and you'll keep yours.
I'm telling you.
So, man, I'm telling you, hey, whatever you got, you hold on to, and you make the best of it. Don't sit here and compare yourself to what somebody else got, and you treat everybody, no matter how you feel, you got to treat people how you would want to be treated. Even
like they
in
say,
the
that's
midst
the
of
golden
that.
rule.
That's what I'm saying, Bo. Imagine that.
And we've gotten away from that rule so much.
And that's simple.
That's
every
simple.
religion, that's the
base premise.
baseline. That's the baseline.
It's
Do
that
unto
simple.
others how you would have them do unto you. Believe in whatever it did to you want to, but the baseline is as a person. I was talking to a guy, he's Hindu, and he said the same thing, but in a different way. He's not from America, so I was like, man, that's the golden rule. He was like, golden rule? I was like, here in America, when I say do unto others as you would have them do unto you, that's pretty much what you're saying in your religion or the concept of your religion. He was like, oh, really? So if we understand how much similar we are than different, it's not gonna matter
It's
what
not.
religion you are. But even growing up, man, I remember I grew up in apostolic, man. And if you weren't apostolic, man, you was going to hell, boy.
It's almost like a gang when it comes to these churches.
It's
man.
a cult, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's
And
a
you
cult.
and you have to be very careful even with that, even with church, man, because they'll be beefing with each other like, nah, we're so how we all serve the same God, the same Jesus, and we can't be in service together.
And another thing we struggle with within that community is traditionalism versus the religion. Because a lot of things are just tradition. I grew up in a lot of tradition.
Right.
Where if you like, it's not in the Bible verbally expressed, but traditionally that's what we went by. And it got clouded when it came to religion and tradition, but you know, that's a whole nother.
See, but that's the difference. The tradition, relationship is what makes
That's the most important thing.
what makes this thing work. Because I can traditionally do everything that y'all do, but if I ain't got no relationship with them, none of this ain't gonna even. This stuff is in vain.
And I even say, who's to say you even got it right? I asked my uncle. I got a family full of pastors, and I asked my uncle. I say, so what if we get down to that day? And we go before the good master, and he tell us we ain't got it right.
You know
I say, what shall we say then?
I just had this
Did y'all see
conversation
that thing on
yesterday.
Facebook? I think it was a joke, of course. It was like if Satan got kicked out of heaven for doing God dirty, why would he burn us for doing the same thing he did?
Yeah, I seen that. I see that. Hey, but
Like, wait a
that's something to think
You
about.
got a point there. So you gonna punish me for doing what you do?
Yeah, doing the same thing. And what I'm really
Like, we should be friends at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm glad to see, you know, we're being more honest and open about how we view religion.
Yeah.
And we're questioning things, because growing up, like I said, I grew up apostolic. I was raised never to question
You don't
anything.
question nothing.
Like, when I say question anything, and like I said before, that hindered me in my real life, where if I didn't understand something in school, I never spoke up.
That's true.
Just off that being the baseline of me growing up. You don't question God. You don't question this, you don't question that. But it's important to question. God is not absent of being questioned.
If he's all knowing, why wouldn't you? That's like
you know
giving me
what I
an
mean?
open book test saying, oh, you can't look in the book.
Yeah,
why would I not?
We
answer?
made it seem like
Who
God.
else are you supposed to ask? How am
Exactly.
I supposed to
I ain't
get
lying.
Yeah.
Like, we made it seem like he's just that inaccessible, or we have to go through a different avenue or a veil.
I think that was
to get
just a
to him.
fear, just so you would lead on the understanding of just your pastor.
Mm-hmm.
That if we were told not to question God, because you're just supposed to lead on to my teaching. Whatever I told you, you're supposed to
Right.
believe that, so don't question God.
And the Bible even tells us, study to show yourself approved. Like, study. Like, don't just take these people's words. So like,
Yeah,
man,
don't regurgitate what somebody else told you.
right. You just mentioned something. You said, you asked them, what if when we get to that great day? I was just saying this yesterday. Yo, the Bible says the very elect shall be fooled. And I was thinking to myself, as much as you think you got it, how do you really know that
for
you've,
real.
what they say, dotted every I and crossed every T? How do you really know? So, bro, that thought and that concept alone was like, That's a scary thought.
Ain't that kind of like what I just said? If you have the institutionalized mind and you pouring into somebody, how can they get
that's
any
a fact.
higher?
That's a fact, though.
How can they
How
get
can
any
I think of
higher
something outside?
when the person that's teaching you
Yeah.
is messed up? And even though it says lean not to your own understanding, teach, but your understanding, think about it like this. The way you understand is based off of your educational background, right?
And your experiences.
So if all you've been exposed to is just that, your understanding is still going to fall in line with what you've been exposed to.
You're right.
So what understanding do you have to lean on?
And even with people saying, even with that,
Right.
lean out to your own understanding, the Bible also says, in all thine getting, get
Get an
understanding.
understanding.
You
Get an understanding.
Because, like, imagine you doing everything right, but your heart ain't.
And see, the Bible clearly tells you we judging the action of a man, he judging your heart.
He judging matters
so
in
you're
the
right.
heart. So we
You're
can't
right, bro.
sit here and look at people and think, oh, they got it right, they got it right. Man, they have a heart full of callous and hatefulness and all
Man,
this.
that's
That's
why.
the same
And the
thing
person
you
that
have.
like he said, the least of these, what you've done for the least of these, you also
You've done it for me. Mm-hmm.
So if we stepping over somebody that's not considered, on our level, I guess, man, you doing the same thing to Christ.
Right.
So man, it's a lot to talk about with that, man.
So listen, man, we've had a great episode. We appreciate you coming, man, stepping in. As always, you rocked out. Great episode. Listen, give us a like, a follow, a share, subscribe, whatever they do on the internet. Do that for us. Thank y'all so much.